Welcome to the Introduction to Progressive Analysis in Middle School Science video, which is a collaborative effort between Collier County Public Schools and Florida Gulf Coast University Center for Environment and Society at the Water School. This video introduces the progressive analysis strategy for teaching how to read and interpret data on graphs. During the video, you will know what progressive analysis strategy is, how progressive analysis supports the learners in your middle school science courses, and the ways to implement the strategy within your existing classroom. Data can be represented in many ways, from a list to tables, graphs, and infographics. Students need to be able to understand data presented in different ways as citizens, informed decision makers, and successful in academic tasks. Look at the data from the Florida Legislature Office of Economic Development and Demographic Research on your screen. Notice the text, graphics, graph, and table. The students can feel overwhelmed with the information and not know how to read the story of the data. By using progressive analysis teaching strategy, when using data in your courses, students should be able to understand the different parts of data stories and become more data literate. Progressive analysis is a process that helps students understand that data tells a story. By breaking down a graph into sections, students analyze each part until they build a summary of the data story. Students should work in pairs or groups. The students will create a chart with 6 sections. The sections are labeled with numbers 1 to 5, and the 6th box labeled Summary. The chart can be made on whiteboards, in their notebooks, or electronically using their devices. Show the graph with all parts covered. Have each student pair or group discuss what they observe and write that in box 1 on the chart. Then reveal each part of the graph, pausing so students can discuss and write what they observe in subsequent boxes. Students should first observe the graphics, like the bars of different colors and sizes on this example. The next numeric values on the y-axis, and then the numeric values on the x-axis. Next, the labels on the y and x-axis, with the last section revealing the title. As each new piece is uncovered, student pairs or groups discuss what they think the graph is about. And it is okay if students change their minds about previous information. They leave the previous information as is on the chart, but add new ideas to the next section of the chart. Once the entire graph is revealed, students write a summary about the graph, describing the information contained within the graph, including the data and basic trends within the data. After the summary, you can hold a class discussion. Understanding graphs and data are important skills for students in their current academic pursuits, responsibilities as informed decision makers, and within their future careers. Individuals with higher levels of graphical literacy are better able to find information in graphs, and they spend more time looking at conventional features of graphs to generate more accurate interpretations. Throughout the science courses you teach, there are multiple opportunities to use progressive analysis with the data from scientific investigations. Consider using data related to the topic being studied. For example, this graph comes from Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, goes along with a lesson investigating Florida turtles. By having a graph of data related to the topic can help engage students in the topic or theme of the lesson when using progressive analysis as the opener, startup, or bell ringer for your class. Some best practices to help you implement the progressive analysis teaching strategy are: develop a routine, have a daily or weekly graph that students analyze. The graph could be part of your Engage within the 5E lesson plan. Encourage discussion and questioning. It will take encouragement and examples of how to ask questions based on the graph. Organize ideas in the chart. Utilize the 6-section chart in a whole group and with individual student groups to write out ideas. Support students where they are at. Based on your students, this may be a long process, or students may be able to achieve higher levels of analysis. One way to support your students should be to offer sentence starters. There are many places where you can get more resources and support to teach graphs and data using the progressive analysis teaching strategy. You should now be familiar with progressive analysis as a teaching strategy and know the steps of progressive analysis and some ways of implementing progressive analysis in science class. Your CCPS and FGCU contacts can provide support and training on this process and collaborate with your school-based science teams for ideas on how to implement the strategy within your unique population of students.